Collecting data. It's very important to be able to collect data as we run our different trials. As we look at the cockpit, we already have instruments for collecting data. We have an airspeed indicator and an altimeter, for example. But they're not as precise as we would like, and it's pretty hard to fly and collect data at the same time. Luckily, X-Plane has tools to do this. So let's begin by clicking up here under Settings, then selecting Data Input Output. Now, as you're already familiar here for collecting data, but let's just remind you, we really don't need to worry about internet or disk files for the most part, though you could save it to both. We're going to use the graphical and the cockpit display. Make sure that these are checked. Then we're going to click on row 3, speed. And then 21, distance traveled. And then landing gear, vertical forces. There may be other ones, but those are the ones we're going to use to begin with. Now, once we've done that, we're going to click X. You can now see values up here. We can see a load on the landing gear. There's a little bit of trembling because there is a little bit of wind going on. Now, we're going to pause, turn on the brakes, push in our throttle, and take off. Pushing on my nose to get a real fast airspeed just so we can take off for this demonstration of how to look at data. Now we're up off the ground. Pause. All right. Now we go back up to Settings. Data Input Output. And in this time, instead of seeing just Data Set, we're going to go to Data See. Now, lots of colored lines here. Let's remove some of them so it's easier to read. These first 4, let's remove them. We're going to get rid of V indicated here. And we're left with 2 V trues. Miles per hour airspeed, miles per hour ground speed. Since we're this close to the ground, they're virtually the same. I'm going to choose to go ahead with this light blue gray color in a moment. I'll explain why. Over here we don't need these top ones either. We are going to keep distance right here in feet. Now mind you, you could do it in distance in meters, you can do it in some of these other units, but right now let's just use distance in feet and miles per hour ground speed. And the reason I'm using miles per hour ground speed is, notice this is light gray, this is an orange, and we're going to keep the landing gear. They're red, yellow, and green. That way now there's 5 lines with 5 different colors. Now you see that this is the time, and we're going to run our line across. And what you should start to notice is the landing gear values are bouncing as we're taking off down the runway. These are the landing gear values right here, here, here. At this point, the landing gear goes to 0, and we're going to define takeoff as that. The orange right there will give us the distance, 1,716 feet. Light gray blue down the left-hand corner of the screen is 91.74 miles per hour ground speed. And not surprisingly, our landing gear are all at 0. That's how we use the data input output screen.